Hello everyone, and welcome to our virtual FunDay Monday series. In an effort to make sure that our residents stay safe this summer, we're adhering to social distancing guidelines, and our FunDay Monday events have gone virtual. For our final event, we're proud to host our Salute to Our Veterans, Hometown USA. FunDay Monday has grown to be a tradition for so many of our senior residents, with hundreds of seniors attending each week. Once the pandemic hit, we knew that we wanted to continue to host our weekly events, but we needed to develop a plan so that we could do this while staying safe. So, working with our town board and our Department of Community Services, we developed this programming just for you. We hope that you enjoyed this series and all of the fun tours, programs, and fitness classes each week. We wanted to provide all of you with a way of having fun at home this summer while remaining healthy and safe. Our Salute to Our Veterans, Hometown USA, is one of my favorite FunDay Monday events. It combines the nostalgia of vintage cars and old tradition, but most importantly, it pays tribute to our veterans who have served our country. Our freedom would not be possible without them and the sacrifices that they and their families have made. So, on behalf of our town board, our receiver of taxes, our town clerk, I want to thank all of our veterans for what they have done to make sure that we have the freedoms that we're able to have today. We thank you, and God bless you, and God bless our great country, the United States of America. To all our veterans who are watching, we encourage you to render the appropriate salute, and for those who can, please stand at attention, placing your hand over your heart as we proudly sing our national anthem, which is being sung today by Tanae Bailey, a very talented member of the First Baptist Cathedral of Westbury's Youth Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Navy, girls away, my boy. once again a big round of applause to all of our wonderful, amazing veterans. Thank you so much.
It's a 1962 Chevrolet Corvette. I had a 66 that I had totally restored, and unfortunately it was in my sister's garage, and her house, let's say, drowned in Hurricane Sandy. I had a customer for many years that owned this car, and in all the years he had it, I never saw him drive it. So I called him up and said, I'm looking to buy another old Corvette. After what happened to mine, are you interested? And we put it together. And I did a lot of work to it since. It wasn't quite in this shape, but here we are. I make an effort to keep it as original as possible. Little nitpicking things all make a difference when the car is showed. The hose clamps, the headlights need a certain marking from General Motors in those years, and 100 details like that. So over time, I've done as much as I can to continually get it back to as original as possible. And it's what they call a numbers matching car. I could show you where the number is on this engine that matches the vehicle identification number of the vehicle, and that adds value as well. It may look pretty to look at, but I will tell you, it rides like a truck. And it was state of the art, but that was 58 years ago. A lot easier to drive a modern car, and a lot easier to stop a modern car, and to get a modern car to handle with radial tires than it is something that is vintage.
It's a 1970 Plymouth Duster. It's original. Just makes me feel young. It's a head turner. People jump out at you, give you a thumbs up all over the place. I mean, it's got a little performance equipment on it. Well, it's been my son's for the better part of 34 years. We really haven't done nothing to it. Just basically maintenance, keeping it running. It's been garaged for the last 10 years. 8 of those years it's a climate control garage. Crazy about cars.
'62 Thunderbird. I bought it about 12, 13 years ago. I had one of these new in '82. I always loved them. I love it. I love it. I couldn't ask for anything better. Why do I love it? It's my salvation. Number one, my wife has dementia. She can't speak, she can't walk, she can't feed herself. And I have her home. And I have aides 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, taking care of her. And like I say, that's my salvation. This is my only enjoyment in life right now, except for my wife. And we're married 60 years. I've won so many trophies with this car. It's unbelievable. I even won Best of Show. I enjoy it. I enjoy the car itself.
This is a '62 Chevy Impala, and it's the second year of the 409, the big one, the only one that the Beach Boys sang, the only one about an engine, my 409. I saw it on an advertisement out in the island, and I went out there and looked at it and just fell in. I had one when I was a kid, so I really wanted to get something that I knew and liked. I had that when I was in high school, so to me it was an inspiration before I was inducted into the service. It's still super easy, but the problem is it doesn't drive like a modern car. The steering wheel is very small. It doesn't have the turning radius. It's a little wavy, but it's a bigger car, and it just brings back memories of when I was a kid and driving around, in high school and stuff. Like I said, it's a 409. It's the first one when they started to do all the big blocks and the racing engines. They started from that point, and then all the other companies jumped on board. Well, there's room underneath the hood. You can get around, and you can still buy parts for it. It's really nice to have people look at it and say, that's not new. That's one of the old ones. Really, I love it for a driver. It's an antique. It's over 50 years old, so it's something and it brings back like those memories, and that's the thing about these things. Yeah, I like the shirt too. Those are all Super Sports, and they made Super Sports from '62 on. They're still making some of the newer ones with Super Sports, they say.
It's a 71 Oldsmobile 442 W30 convertible Tribute. I was looking for something like this for a long time, and when I found it, I bought it. Convertible, a muscle car, and a white interior. It's got a big giant motor, very fast. It only gets about 7 miles to the gallon. The normal minivan will blow this away driving around town because it's big, it's heavy, but it's all metal. There's very little plastic in it. It has power windows, power steering, power brakes. That's about it. Oh, people always thumbs up, waving. As they're looking at you, they drive into you. Like they leave their lane to come over. Say, oh, nice car. Yeah, get away from me. Lots of elbow grease. But once it's good and clean, it stays in the garage all the time, and usually under a cover. So it doesn't really ever get dirty. I think I've had it 10, 11 years. It's been in the rain twice, never in the snow since I've had it. I love muscle cars. Old Mercedes I love. I have an old diesel Mercedes too.
That's a 1969 Chevelle. Delivering fuel oil, found it in somebody's backyard, had 5 inches of leaves all over the car. I left a note on the guy's bill. The 69 Chevelle looks like it needs a good home. If you're looking to get rid of the car, give me a call. The guy called me up 2.5 weeks later and said, oh, how long have you been with the company? And I said, approximately 22 years. And he said, well, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Are you sitting down? He gave me the car. Gave me the car for free. He was a customer and a friend of the family's. He says, oh, Joe taught me how to golf, and Angelo taught me how to do this, and that one taught me how to do that. And it was very nice of Glenn to give me the car. And I had drove it the way it was for 2 years, and then I restored it. Never planned on going as far as I did with the car, but I said, you know what, I'm not racing anymore. I says, I'll build something for the street, and I wound up putting a motor, a transmission, a rear end, quarter panel, and fenders on the car, just to make it look really show-worthy. And it's a real good driver. I put a 350 motor in it. I put a 700 R4 transmission in it, which is the overdrive. And I put a 373 Pazio rear. And if I go from a dead stop, I could leave 8 feet, 2 wheels, no problem. Foreign cars pull up next to you and go, din, 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 din. I'll let them know that this is American muscle. The body style is very unique. Everybody loves the color also. The color on the car, as you see, it's the gold, antique gold they call it, and the black stripes on it, which a buddy of mine put on for me. And I'm happy with the car, just driving it the way it is.
It's a 1970 American Motors Javelin. Believe it or not, I found it on the Penny Saver in the year 2000. And the Penny Saver happened to be in Pennsylvania, but the car was in College Point, and that's where I was living at the time. So I paid $1,200 for the car. And Then when I went through all the VIN numbers and everything else like that, I found out that it was a Mark Donahue Javelin, which they only made 2,500 of them so they could race in the Trans Am series. The seller would have known that. I probably would have paid much, much more. I've always been an American Motors fan, believe it or not. I mean, when I say that to people, they go, you could have had a Chevy, you could have had a Ford, but when I go to a show, there's no other one like it. So, there's plenty of Mustangs, plenty of Camaros, and I built the car my way. I couldn't put it in a show and have it win from first place or anything else like that because the color is wrong. It's right for that year, but it's not for that car. But I love red cars. My brother and I, we had a lot of work because it had been in an accident, and we put parts from a parts car on it. And when we got it done with it, it kind of looked like my brother and I did it. So I would go to shows and I'd be afraid to even go near some of the other cars. So I happened to get a couple of bucks and I had it professionally done. And believe it or not, I had it done with Mako. Mako did the whole work on the car. To be a Mark Donahue, it had to have the rocker panel on there. It had to have the spoiler, which was used in Trans Am, plus the deluxe interior. It came with a 390 or a 360 automatic or 4-speed. This one happens to be 360 automatic. And it's bigger, I put kids in here sometimes to take pictures. And the first thing they go is, where's the airbags? No, there is no airbags in this thing. But you sit in there and like the dashboard is over there someplace. It's not like today's car where it's like looking right at you. And believe it or not, this has shoulder harnesses, which is unusual.
It's a 1981 Chevy El Camino. It's got 500,000 miles on it, and it's the second engine. It was a birthday present when I was 55 from my parents. It's great. I used to go down to Florida to see my parents once every month. So you figure all the mileage that I put on that. Plus I use it for work for many years. I didn't have a pickup. That works fine. After about 300 and change, I had to change the engine. I put in a 305 that came with a smaller engine. It's a nice car to drive. It's comfortable. It's got all the amenities, air conditioning and so forth and so on. And believe it or not, it's very good on gas. Take care of it, tune-ups, oil changes, grease jobs, all that good stuff. Chick magnet. This particular vehicle was given to me by my parents. So it has some personal, meaning to me. It's not just a car, it's a gift.
At one point, I wanted to get something that I kind of grew up with. In 1969, when I got married, my brother gave me a 1960 four-door Bel Air as a wedding present. I gravitated towards this, and that's why I bought this particular model. After Sputnik, a lot of cars incorporated space-age type designs and things like that. So this was the poor man's version of what the Impala had, which was a little more ornate than this, but that's basically what that's about. It's turquoise, topped with ermine white. It was gray, white on the top, and the place that did this, all the body work and the paint, I think I got the guy who worked there, I got him excited about trying something. So he went through the colors with me, and he said, "This is the one I like." I said, "You're right." I was a little worried that I had already bought an interior that was going to go with a gray car, but gray's neutral, so it worked out. The car itself was pretty straightforward for the time. So what I've done is I put things in there that were appropriate for the time, but maybe didn't come with the car. So the first thing I did was I bought shoulder belts, so that even though I didn't have to have seat belts at all, I put in shoulder belts. I felt the safest that way. I also had the engine swapped out. So when you see the 53 Chevy, that has my old engine, my old 6-cylinder in it. So I put an 8-cylinder in there. Why? Because I knew I wanted air conditioning.
So I had, again, air conditioning was available in 60. I also eventually took out the gauges and put in digital ones, which saved me at one point. I was driving along and I saw that the voltage kept going down 12, 11, 10, 9. All the gauges shut off at that point, and I drove to the Don's East Coast Restorations, and he took the alternator out and changed it. When I first got it, the first test drive I did, I realized it took a lot to stop and a lot to steer. So there's a power booster for the brakes, disc brakes in the front, that my brother converted the drums to. This windshield you will see on every GM car of this year. I believe all of them had that wrap-around windshield. The whole car gives me a lot of vision. I feel very safe, making sure I'm changing lanes correctly and things like that.
'53 Chevrolet Bel Air. Before I had this, I had a Ford Roadster 1930, and I saw this in the garage, and I made a swap with the man who owned the station. He gave me $1,000 plus this. So, and I bought this in year 2000. Colors are beautiful. They don't make two-tones anymore like this. I think anybody who has an antique car likes the car. There's something about it that he likes and somebody else may like. Generally, people don't go for four-door cars. But this had the color, it has the comfort. It rides very heavy, like a Cadillac. It feels solid. I also have another one, a 65 Ford Falcon. Doesn't ride like this though. It's light, it's tinny, but this is very heavy and it really holds the ground. And it's just excellent for me. I love it. 20 years, I won't get rid of it. So. When I first bought the car, I had trouble with it for 10 years. To be honest with you, the first person who had it, I think he got it out of a junkyard, and he did the upholstery inside. Then he died and he sold it to somebody else. That guy did the outside. When I got it, I had to do the engine over. Perfect running order now.
This is a 1965 Ford Galaxy 500 XL convertible. Well, I had a couple other 65 Fords and I found it advertised someplace. It was in Rockaway, Queens area. Guy had it in a garage and it wasn't running. Made a deal with him. I think I paid like $600 for it about 35 years ago, I guess. And we towed it home and I got it running. I put a new battery in it, changed the oil. It has original ignition, the ignition points, condenser. Probably did a tune-up on it, spark plugs. It's actually a 68 Mercury Cougar engine that I found that was in it, which is a 302. The original one was a 289. They look exactly the same. I have it dressed up to look exactly the same as the original engine. Everywhere I go with it, I get compliments. People notice it. In fact, I had it out a couple days ago, and like during the day, like 5 different people, gave me comments on it. I try to enjoy the camaraderie of all my friends in the clubs and several clubs. When they made these new, Ford had an advertisement on TV. It's quieter than a Rolls Royce, which I find that's pretty much that seems like the truth. I've been involved with the automotive field. I'm retired from New York City Transit as a supervisor in the bus garage. If there's something nobody can seem to figure it out, and I can, it gives me personal satisfaction.
It's a 1941 Chevy Special Deluxe Sports Sedan, all original. I'm affiliated with 2 clubs, the club here, which I'm the director and president of, the VCCA Queens County, and also the GNYR, the Greater New York region on Long Island. I'm a board director. And someone there was selling the car almost 10 years ago, and I went to see it. I drove it, I loved it, and we made a deal and I bought it. It's been in 3 car shows, and I have 3 awards for it, for being all original. You should really be knowledgeable in mechanics, locating parts, which we do for all our club members. I have almost 60 club members. We all help each other locate parts, help to fix the cars. I am a mechanic. I was a truck mechanic, so it does come in handy because it gets very expensive to pay somebody. Because a lot of auto repair shops don't even want to work on an old car. And if you find someone, you have to pay, or your car doesn't get repaired and it don't run. This still had the 3-speed on the column, and it's vacuum assist, which still works, and it makes the shifting very smooth. I own a Mercedes-Benz, and there's more room in this than a Mercedes. This will seat 6 people comfortably. I'm a commander of the Little Neck Douglaston American Legion Post, and I'm vice commander of the whole Queens County, all the regions, which are 24 different American Legion posts. There's a good connection there. We also do car shows for the St. Albans VA home, and a lot of the older veterans there, it brings back memories of cars they used to have, or their father had, or their friends had, and it's just a great experience. I'm just so happy to have the 4 cars I have. It's my oldest one, and I think my favorite. It's not my most expensive, but I just like this car. It always starts up, it's reliable, it stops, it doesn't go fast, which I don't want to go fast, and I can depend on it. It goes, stops, and that's the main thing. Before a car can go, you got to make sure it stops. Any mechanic will tell you that. It was good for the day, but in today's terms, visibility is a little poor. You know, 2-piece windshield. The rear window is not as wide, the windshield's not as wide. You have to get used to that first as you're driving. You know, you just can't jump and cross lanes that easy. It's difficult. It does not come with a mirror on this side. I put it on there. I feel every car should have 2 mirrors.
That's a 55 Chevy 2-door hardtop Bel Air. Me and my brother's cousin used to own it many years ago. He had bought it someplace, I don't know where, but upstate New York. And he had it for 10 years. Then he sold it to my brother. My brother had it for 10 years, and it was all stock. It wasn't nothing touched on this, virgin. And I got it, and then I did this. I did a frame off, completely frame off. I changed the motor. I made it a bigger motor. It's a 350, 400 horse 350. And I got a 5-speed stick shift, tri-power, and 411 rear. And I take it everywhere. I drive this thing. In fact, I just came back, well, last year anyway, not this year because of the pandemic. I went to Kentucky twice with this. I drove it down. I drive this thing as much as I can. Whenever, even when I'm not doing that, I just decided to go out one night and I just drive anywhere. I just visit some people, just take a ride on the Captree, down a Captree, and back. And there's nothing I just enjoy more than driving this thing. I built it to drive it, so it's not a show. It's not a trailer queen. Actually, it's very easy to drive. I got power steering in it. I mean, I got all the goodies, you know, air conditioning and power steering, power brakes, power disc brakes. I upgraded the brakes so it stops better. And all the upgrades that I could get for safety, I got. They call it a shoebox. That's what they call it, a shoebox. 55, 6, and 7, they call it shoebox cars. But this one here, I just the lines, the 55 was the first major change in their cars in 55, and I just love the looks of it, the lines. I love the hardtop, the windows down. Well, I get in the wintertime, I have them up, but in summertime, even if I don't use the air conditioner, I get all the windows down. But today is hot. I got the AC on. Actually, the car was India Ivory and Gypsy Red originally, red and white. I wanted to change it, and it's Viper Red and Antique White. And once they put them on, that was it. It's a nice color combination. It really stands out. Well, a lot of guys came out of the service and they wanted a hobby and they jumped into this. You know, a lot of guys, a lot of vets into this. It's something to do. It's, you know, and it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of people, which is the great part. When you're down in Kentucky, you meet all kinds of people down there. They're so nice down there. They are so nice down there. You meet a whole bunch of people. You get ideas, more ideas on the car itself. You know what to do, and just talking about cars and people, and It's just a nice hobby.
It's 1964 Chevy Impala. You know, there was an ad in Newsday, 1992, and I went out to Franklin Square, and I purchased it off a collector. Yeah, and you know, I guess I kept it all these years because I always liked it. I did some mechanical restoration on it, and basically, cosmetically, it's the way I bought it. Chevy was one thing, and you know, Impalas I always liked. My first car was a '60 Impala. Found that in Whitestone under the bridge. Turned out to be a used car dealer, Sambucci, which junkyards really what they were. And that's how I got into the Chevys and the Impalas. And then this came along, and I liked it. Convertible was something new to me, and I figured, you know, let me see it, and I went for it. From decades before, you know, my older brother, he would be racing cars and stuff, and Chevys was always preferred. And I guess it was just in front of me at the time, you know, and I just like looked at Chevys and I liked them, you know, but they're pretty like basic, common man car, right? You know, but they had a lot of nice features to them. You know, this is an SS model, has the bucket seats with some fancy trim around the seats and stuff, you know, so I just liked it, you know. That's Joe also.
Do you like riding around in the Impala?
Speak up loud, he can't hear you.
Yes. Yeah? Is it fun to ride in? Yeah? What's your favorite part about riding in the car?
You know, I drove it down south Alabama for some mechanical work that I was doing down there. You know, my brother's got a shop down there, and yeah, it drove down there fine, but we upgraded some things and I drove it back home, you know. These were like regular everyday cars, more or less, when I started buying them, really. You know, even like in the 80s, they were still very usable, and it's very drivable. You go anywhere with it, you know. You got to be used to no air conditioning, which, you know, you pull the knob underneath the dashboard and the vents open up, and as long as you're moving, you're cooling. Say bye, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
This is a 1929 Chevy International four-door sedan. Believe it or not, I bought it online out of Houston, Texas. Most people do not buy cars you don't see, but in today's age, with everything being virtual and that, I probably had more pictures, films, and everything else on this car than you could imagine. And I really had a clear picture of what I was purchasing at the time. Over the years, I've had a series of antique cars. I had mostly in the 30s and that, and I always wanted this style. You know, it's almost like the gangster style. I think a real old car, considered antique, my personal opinion, should have running boards, and which this does. You know, 91 years old, it still runs good. The only unique thing about this car, this was the first year for Chevy having a 6-cylinder engine. Prior to that, it was all 4 cylinders. However, it still only has 26 horsepower, so not a lot. You know, it takes a little bit to get it going. The main problem today is other motorists just get annoyed, you know, that I can't move that fast. You know, we have extra room for stopping, and you know, it's unfortunate. I try to do my best. I try to keep off the main roads. I don't get on the highways, and it's mechanical brakes, so you know it takes a lot to stop. So you know, I give myself a good distance. In the years I've owned the car, it hasn't seen rain. You know, I do add some lead to the gasoline because of the way the valves are seated. It needs that extra lubrication. Back in those days when they had factories produced one color. So if your car came out of one particular factory, it was black. Another particular factory, I believe it was blue
and black, and this one was green and black. And I just love the color combination, and I like the style. The inside, the back, it's very, very tight up front. Just the way it is. The back seats, it's almost like a limousine. Plenty of leg room, headroom, the whole 9 yards. I just love the style, and it's unique. And modern cars could do something similar to that with the more powerful engine, but they just don't.
Hello and welcome to a walk down FunDay Monday lane. I'm Kristina Lew with Project Independence, and my co-host today is John Ryan, who everyone knows as the fabulous host of our Project Independence and You radio program, which is on every Friday from 10 a.m. to noon on 88.1 FM WCWP. Hello, John.
Thank you, Kristina. How you doing, dear?
Good, good. I'm enjoying summer.
We're not only enjoying summer, we're going to be enjoying a very special guest today.
Absolutely. We have the fabulous Supervisor, Judi Bosworth, with us, which is very exciting on this special Veterans Day that we're doing. So, Judi, how have you been doing?
So it's been interesting, to say the least, and I just have such great admiration for the whole Project Independence staff, Kimberly Corcoran and Kristina Lew and Nancy and Rebecca, because of all the things that have been going on, even though we've been so seriously hampered by the restrictions because of coronavirus, but yet so many activities are going on through Project Independence. One of the things I think of is, John, here you are as the host with the most, because the Project Independence radio shows are going on. I had done one. It seems like a long time ago, but how long ago could it have been?
I know.
You did it via Zoom.
Right. You did the first one when we came back with the Zoom.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. So all these things that even though we are restricted and for good reasons, so many activities, so many things are still going on. So many services are being provided. I have such great admiration for the amazing job that is being done right now. And it's not just that it's the Project Independence staff, it's the Project Independence advisory members, because I know I've been sitting in on so many of the Project Independence advisory meetings via Zoom. And here we have so many of our seniors who, number one, have the ability to get onto Zoom, and obviously everybody who's watching today has that ability. So, so many people think of seniors as not being technologically savvy. I think we're disabusing people of that notion, because if they're getting onto Zoom, I'm getting onto Zoom. I'm very proud. And it's just, it's wonderful. And so I see the advisory committee being engaged, still offering so many wonderful suggestions. And so we're really taking what's a unprecedented situation and dealing with it as our North Hempstead residents know how to do. There's no keeping us down.
I agree 100%, and you never realize what you're capable of until it's thrown in your face, so to speak. And our seniors, because of all the support that Project Independence, which is supported by the supervisor, has offered to them, they've grabbed it. They've grabbed it.
It takes a village. It truly does take a village, and that's what makes it, we have the fortune of talking about this every week on the radio program, but the fact that these seniors have participated, the advisory committees, there's over 100 seniors participating every month, which we're all blown away, whether they're calling in or, they're able to actually have a computer or a smartphone. It's really just amazing to see. And John was right, it's because of all the support of you that we're able to do these amazing things. And we never stopped, so we just kept on, like you were saying. And I think that's what really is special about North Hempstead. And of course, what we had to do virtually is FunDay Monday, which is certainly a change. The FunDay Monday program has been going on now for over 35 years, which is amazing. And I mean, all of us have been there and see the thousands of seniors that, you know, come out every week. So we had to get a little creative. So it's a little different, but we're still connecting. So Supervisor, what is your favorite memory of FunDay Monday?
So there are so many, and it's hard to really just narrow it down, but I'm going to narrow it down to two.
Okay.
So one is, and it's an overall memory, and it's just every week coming to North Hempstead Beach Park and being able to see all of the people from all different communities, whether they're playing mahjong or they are participating in a book club or some physical fitness class, or just sitting and playing Rummy Cube, or sitting and just being with their friends and neighbors. It's the most amazing experience to see all our seniors in one place, being able to go from table to table, to talk, to sit, to, you know, I'll use an Italian word, to schmooze. You know, it's just, so that's actually something that I really love. And one of the things that I miss the most about what we're doing as a result of the pandemic that we find ourselves in. So that's one thing. And the other thing I have to tell you is really, and it's a memory that we're actually going to be talking a lot about in this Zoom, and that's our salute to veterans. I remember the first time that I participated in the last FunDay Monday, you know, of the summer, and it was a salute to veterans, and I was so struck by the many veterans that we had that live in our town, that participated in the salute to veterans, that came wearing their uniforms, that came sharing their memories, and also seeing so many of our veterans together in one place and recognizing them from so many different things that they're involved in the town, because they've devoted their lives to service. We so appreciate their sacrifices that they made while they were in service, but it's something that they've continued with throughout their lives. So whether it's being part of a Project Independence advisory group or a senior group or a civic association, you see our veterans in so many different facets of helping others throughout the town, whether it's through Kiwanis or you know, any of the other service organizations. Our veterans are our greatest supporters and contributors to the town, and having the salute to veterans, where we have the opportunity to sing all the songs from the different service branches, and just having the opportunity to be together. That will always be something that will be indelibly placed in my heart as one of my favorite memories, not just of FunDay Monday, but really of being supervisor.
Wow, it was beautiful. It really, really was. And anybody listening to it, honestly, they know you're sincere in what you just said, which is an honor to all the veterans out there. Now, what we would like to know is something special from a summer that you've, with your family, as a child growing up, or maybe with your boys or whatever, but just a special summer memory.
So it's interesting. So I've been thinking about this, and it would be like a natural thing to talk about, you know, my boys who are now, you know, they're not boys anymore. You know, Brian is, you know, 46 and Michael is 42. So but they'll always be my babies. But I think back to a time when I was really young and lived at home with my mom, my dad, my sister, Morel, who I am still so very, very close with. And, you know, people have heard me refer to the fact that my parents, you know, were Holocaust survivors. And so my childhood was really impacted by the experiences that they had. But I remember every summer we would go to a hotel for a week or sometimes 2 weeks. And it was always a hotel that was frequented by other Holocaust survivors. And so there weren't a lot of kids, and my sister and I, and although we're almost 5 years apart, and it really rankles me that people want to know who the older one is. She is. She is almost 5 years older than I am. And we became very, very especially close during those times. And I have these memories of, my sister's name is Morel, which is a very exotic name considering I was named Judi, not Judith. I mean, I'm really playing Judi. And her name is Morel. And we used to go for these very long walks down these country roads. And I just have images of us walking and talking and coming to a lake and standing there and throwing stones, into the lake. And it just, when I'm having a hard time, I like to think of really those moments because they were very special, and it's something that was very special to me.
Oh,
You weren't expecting
I
that, were you?
visualized it. That was such a good description. I actually had like a whole visual like movie image in my head, but that's really what, summers are all about, are these family traditions.
Yeah, they don't all have to be the most exciting things, but there are times where you can actually get in touch with your inner self. And I was so young, and yet, really looking back on it, that's kind of what we were doing.
Oh, that's so great. I love it. That's a beautiful, beautiful memory. All right, Supervisor. So now, what is something that no one knows about you? It could be anything.
That I can talk about.
Yes.
Right, and you can talk about it.
So some people know this, but most people don't know. I love to bake. I can't bake pies, which is really something that is I need to get over it, because Jay, who's my husband, that's really what he loves to eat. He loves to eat pies. I love to bake, and that's the one thing I can't do. But I love to bake all kinds of cakes and cookies and muffins, and I find it very therapeutic to bake all kinds of things. I make chocolate cakes and sour cream cakes, but if I make a sour cream cake, it has to have chocolate chips in it, because to me, if it doesn't have chocolate, it just isn't worth eating.
It's not a cake.
A woman of my own heart.
There you go. But that is something that I really love to do. And throughout my years, I'd say probably gained and lost hundreds of pounds, one way or the other. And I find very much when I'm really watching my weight, the thing that I love doing is I get this vicarious thrill of baking all these very fattening things and watching other people eating them. So that's something.
Well, you're in luck, because I like to eat them. I'm John. John, I think that's why we're a really good team here.
Oh, yeah. I'm more than willing to eat them.
It's so great.
We're going to switch now from the cake, which is wonderful. Your administration has really proven to be the greatest advocate for the veterans. And obviously you talked about them a little bit earlier, so we understand where it's coming from. But I would really like to know more about, one, how you got so involved, but also the things that are going on in the town. I mean, there's an advisory board that didn't exist prior to you getting involved. That's very important, because when somebody wants to make a phone call to the town, they know they can, and they know that since it came from you, they're going to be listened to, which is very important. Making a phone call and having somebody at the other end who goes, yep, and then hangs up is one thing. Knowing they're going to be heard, that's the biggest thing that you've created. They will be heard. Just go into that and how that all came about.
So it's interesting. This is something that most people probably don't know either. I remember when I first became supervisor, and I was having a conversation with then Congressman Steve Israel. And Steve Israel said to me, town doesn't really have a Veterans Advisory Committee. And I looked at him, and I was just starting, and I said, you're right. And so that was really one of the first things that we set, ourselves out to do. And I remember somebody was helping me, with it, because, it's nice to say I'm doing everything myself. I am so blessed. I have the greatest team around me. Nobody does it by themselves. And it's a mistake to think that anybody can. But I remember when we were talking about starting the Veterans Advisory Committee, the person that was helping me was saying, well, we can get a representative from the state, and we can get a representative from the federal government. And I went, No, 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 no. That's not what this should be. This should be a committee that consists of the veterans who live in the town of North Hempstead. So it wasn't looking to establish another layer of government. We've got a great, veterans committee, on the federal level and certainly on the state level, and the county has a thing. That's not what this was. This was to have a committee comprised of the veterans who live right here in North Hempstead to see what we could do to make sure that they were getting the services that exist, that they could make sure that they were taking advantage of, that we were getting input from them as to what we could do, what we could advocate for. And I really didn't mean to have a lot of this center around my parents, but I've always been so grateful to our country because without the role that the United States played in World War II and then so many wars before and after, my parents would never have been able to come to this country and I wouldn't exist. And that was due to the brave men and women who fought in World War II, who liberated the camps, who fought so that we have the ability to practice all the democratic ideals that our country was founded on. And so in my heart, I've always felt that we owe our veterans such a great debt of thanks. It's something that we cannot ever forget, that we, not only that we can't forget, but that we need to make sure that our children and their children and the children after them understand the sacrifices that those who are serving our country, those who have served our country have made, and that there's never too many ways to say thank you to them and to acknowledge the amazing jobs that they have done. And so we reached out to each of our council members and asked them to suggest veterans that they thought might be good members of the committee. We put it in the newspaper. We sent out a release if there were veterans that were interested in being part of the committee. And we actually have a committee that is made up of older veterans, younger veterans, men, women, just a real cross-section of the town. And they have done an amazing job. And I know people say, you've done so much for veterans. No, we've done so much for veterans because everything that has been done to benefit our veterans is a result of suggestions and the work done by the amazing Veterans Advisory Committee of the town of North Hempstead. And I think that what's so telling is that our first meeting took place that first year in October. And we said, so what do you want to do? How do you see this committee? Because it was not about what the people, the administration felt, it was what the veterans felt. And the first thing they wanted to do was they wanted to have a veterans drive for the holidays to collect, whether it was, clothing or toiletries, but things that could be brought to the veterans at Northport VA Hospital. And in a very short period of time, we got that together. There were collection things set up at some of our different buildings, as well as the different posts throughout the town. We worked with a few schools, not that many, because we were just getting started. And I remember that first year we collected, I think it was 80 boxes of donated goods. And we had, actually it was the Project Independence bus. We went out to Northport VA Hospital on a Saturday. We brought the boxes, and so many people worked so hard to sort them, to make sure that the things that we were bringing were good. And it's something that we have continued each year, except each year it gets bigger. Each year it gets better. Each year it gets more inclusive, so that we are also working now with many schools I think, particularly of the work that we're doing with St. Mary's and Chaminade, as well as some of our public schools, Westbury, Carl Place, so many of the schools. And why is that important? It's important because it's helping our students, our kids, understand we need to make sure that we thank our veterans, that we let them know that we appreciate what they've done. So for every donation that's given to a veteran at the holiday time, it's accompanied by a card or a letter written by a student, thanking them for what they've done, letting them know that they're remembered at this time, as they need to be remembered every day. So our Veterans Drive has gone from bringing 80 boxes of donated goods to over 250 boxes of donated goods, so that we can't just do it in one time. We have vans going out. Bringing them out on Saturday is just kind of bringing the icing on the cake, because it's like days of bringing the goods out. And so that was the first thing, but there's been so many other things that this Veterans Advisory Committee has been responsible for. One was the community out-based clinic that we now have at CGM. Because of the pandemic, it's not going on, but my hope is that we'll be able to see that coming back. And that's this huge bus that comes, and our veterans can get primary care right there in our own backyard, because the trip to Northport VA was so long. And then there was when it started, it turned out that they weren't doing blood testing. And we spoke to Joe Sledge, and Joe is involved at Northport VA. His title keeps changing, he keeps getting promoted, but he's very connected with North Hempstead and our veterans. And sure enough, before we knew it, they outfitted the van so that they were able to take blood samples as well. One day it's for podiatry, one day it's for physical therapy, one day it's for primary care. So these are real services that we're being able to bring to our veterans. Project Independence, our seniors, DOSA. We now have a social worker that is there, that devotes 10 hours a week to veteran services. So if a veteran has a question, whether it's filling out papers or some kind of medical need or a social worker need, there is a social worker that is assigned to our veterans 10 hours a week. If it needed to be more, we would make it more. I think it's turning out to be, that's fine. So these are just examples of some of the things that, as a result of this great committee, we've been able to bring to our veterans in North Hempstead.
It's just actually incredible. It really is. It's just, you look at all these things, and in Project Independence with our veterans caseworker, especially during this tough time of the, isolation, and what she was actually doing on top of counseling and getting them connected to different services, she was actually pairing up, introducing different veterans via the phone, so then they could have a relationship too, So I think it's just all these wonderful things. I mean, and it just blows my mind, because so much really, Supervisor Bosworth, has been done for veterans, under your leadership, and it's a privilege to be part of that puzzle, while working for Project Independence. So
we're a team.
That's right.
And that's, to me, the underlying thing is we're a team here in North Hempstead, and we really are a family. So whether it's veterans or seniors or everybody in the town, we care about each other. We need to be considerate of each other. And during this pandemic, part of that being considerate of each other is, and I know that this is still so important, is that we wash our hands religiously, that when we're out in public, that we wear a mask. If we're not able to social distance, that we wear a mask. John, when you first came in, it's before we started, recording, I saw you came in, you were wearing a mask. And the mask doesn't protect you. The mask protects everybody else. So if you're wearing a mask, it's almost a way of saying, I care about you. I want to make sure you're safe. And so I'm wearing a mask to show you that I respect your space. And so we have to do everything we can to contain the spread of the virus. This is I don't think this is a secret. These Zoom things are being recorded, well in advance of when they're actually being played. So by the time the end of August comes along, I'm not sure exactly where we'll be. I hope we'll be in an even better place, because right now the numbers in North Hempstead and Nassau County in New York State have gone really so low. But we can't forget the fact that we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and we need to do everything that we can to make sure that we're containing the spread of the virus so that we can ultimately resume, what we call our normal life. I don't know that normal will ever look quite the same again. But I do want to share one thing with you, and Kristina had said it to you earlier. I do read every email I get, because I find it's a wonderful way of, number one, being connected with our residents, and so that people know if they send me an email, I'm reading it. And of course, it will be responded to. So we have a wonderful constituent, Judi Rosenthal, and she sent me a thing this morning, and it showed the mascot for the coronavirus. And so this will come as a surprise. What is it? A raccoon. Why? Always wearing a mask, washes his hands religiously. And if you take the letters of raccoon, except there's an extra C, it turns into corona.
Oh.
Right? I had the same reaction, John.
Right?
But I like that. I think that is absolutely a perfect little thing. And the bottom line is, what the overall message is that everyone just needs to play their part, as we said, with all these different things, because we are in this together. And if everyone plays their part, hopefully we can get to that place, the normal, once it was, as close as it might be, just more sanitary normal, but as close as it could get. And I think that's all we can do. And is there anything, Supervisor, before we wrap up that you want to mention?
So I just want to say, this is so wonderful that this is being done. And I think of all the things that are being done virtually with our seniors while this is going on. And some of it has to do with the summer and some of it doesn't. But the fact that all the physical fitness classes are online, so that you're not able to go to them, but yet you're still able to go online, and actually even better, because you can do them whenever you want. But for those that are not so adept at going online, they're being played on North Hempstead TV at the times that you normally would have gone to the class. So that's a terrific thing. And the fact that we're doing the drive-in at the movies, at this point it will be kind of at the end of it. This particular weekend, the movie that's being played at North Hempstead Beach Park is Jaws. So I'm dating a little bit, what we're doing. But that has been such a wonderful thing, because for me, you talk about walk down a FunDay Monday memory lane. This to me is like a walk down my whole life memory lane. We're going back to drive-in movies. So I'm looking at my hair that's getting longer and longer, and going to drive-in movies. But these are things that we're trying to make sure that we're providing services as best we can. I do robocalls, and the reason I do robocalls is because although we put information on the website, not everybody has the ability to go online. So if we reach out and someone, whatever the message is, it's in a robocall, it's on our website, people sign up for emails, it's on emails, we put the messages on North Hempstead TV. So I think during this time where people can feel isolated, there's so much that's being done to bring everybody together, so that that we're not alone, we're in this together, we're going to come out of this stronger than ever before. And that's really to the great work of you, Kristina, and John, with the radio shows that now are virtual, and all the great work that's being done by our DOSA staff. So we're in this together, we're a team, we're a family, and I just can't wait to be able to actually give everybody hugs and kisses. But I'm sending you virtual hugs, and know that you're always in my mind and in my heart.
Oh, well, that was a perfect thing, and thank you, Supervisor,
Kristina,
for
just
joining
1 second.
us. Yes.
Before you end it, Kristina, and you'll close it out, I just want to say something, and this is extremely personal. I love Judi as a person, so it makes no difference as the supervisor. But as the supervisor, everybody has to be very cognizant and aware of the fact that there's very few towns in America, okay, that have dealt with the pandemic as efficiently and caringly as we have done in the town of North Hempstead. People have put things into effect, but as cold as ice, they didn't care about the people. In my mind, I can read, most people can read, and they see what's going on in other places in the country and in the world. Here in North Hempstead, we had to change things, as Judi said, with Zoom and virtual and TV shows and everything else. We skipped a couple of weeks, but we got back online as best we could. And our seniors really have, except for the ones that may not want anything to do with technology, they could be out. But even they've given in, because we see it on the radio show. Little by little, they've given in. But that really does go to the caring heart of our supervisor. And I'm not throwing too, I mean, I'm being very honest. If it wasn't for Judi in charge of this place right now, life would be different. I accept it and I understand it because life is different in many other townships. So that personally is me to Judi, and I want to say thank you.
So John, I love you. You are extraordinary. And Kristina, you are so wonderful and warm and caring. But you did spark something else, and that's I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the fact that we have a Project Independence taxi service, and during the pandemic, we've extended the food shopping to 7 days a week. We've also waived all fees for the Project Independence taxi ride. So it used to be that there was no fee for shopping, but people would give a tip. We're taking care of the tip. The fees for medical appointments, all waived, because we want to make sure that our seniors are not having to interact with touching money, having to give money to a driver. We're trying to find ways of making sure that our seniors are as safe and protected as is appropriate through the town. So, but and I said it at the start, no one does it alone. We are so blessed that the people who work in the town of North Hempstead have put in an enormous effort working cooperatively. I think of, and I probably shouldn't mention it, but Tom McDonough, who's the president of the union, I have to say has just been a pleasure to work with, to make sure that our workers are protected, but working together to do everything they can to serve our residents, as well as all the people on my staff, everybody. It is an effort of us doing this together. And that's why it's successful, because we're doing it together. We care about each other. And I love the fact that we're doing FunDay Mondays on Zoom, so that even that is continuing. And that's just the greatest tribute to you. So thank you so much. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here today.
Well, that's right. And we're North Hempstead strong over here.
We are.
Thank you again, Supervisor Bosworth, for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the summer. And thank you to all of our vets and everybody watching. So be safe, wash your hands.
Hope all is well today. My name is Margaret. I'm here to do a total fitness video with you. Please make sure you have some water near you. We will be using weights, a ball, and a band. If you don't have those props, it's okay. You can do without. Also, make sure if you need to modify anything that I'm doing, please modify. And if you need to take breaks, take breaks. We're going to start with a short warm-up. feet shoulder width apart, arms up, and we stretch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice long stretches. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's stretch 1, 2, 3. Slightly bending your knees. 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, long arms. 1, 2. Pulling that belly back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stretch forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to go across the body, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's start over again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice long stretches. Fingertips up, step side, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. Let's go across the body, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, 8. We're going to tap that tush back and down and up. So we're doing little sit squats, very small, pressing the buttocks back, pulling the belly button into your back, breathing, exhale, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Make sure the knees stay over the ankles, pushing the buttocks back, pulling the belly button in. Good job. Stay here and just hold it and come up. Shake it out and tap. 2, 3, 4, right in front of you. 5, 6. Let's start doing bicep curls with the tap, and 1, and 2. Again, standing tall, belly button in. 5, 6, 7. Little lift, and 1, and 2. Pull it back, and 4, and 5, and 6, 7, 8. Let's press, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Good job. Shake it out. Let's just roll our shoulders back a little bit. Good job, guys. And a little forward. So we have to lift them to pick them up, to roll them forward. And now we just do 1 right, 1 left, 1 right, 1 left, 1 right, and left, and right, and left. Good job. Shake it out. Shake everything. Excellent. So let's pick up our weights. And we're going to start standing. Our knees are slightly shoulder width apart. Arms are down. Halfway, we're going to do bicep curls, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, and 1, and 2. Squeezing back. 3, 4. Pulling that belly button in. Nice straight backs. 7. One more set of 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Make sure you keep breathing. 7, and 8. We're going to take the arms up. 2, 3. So the elbows are just slightly lifting. Up, up, up. Again. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, 7. Keep breathing. Knees are slightly bent. One more set. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. 7 and 8. Holding here. Go out. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Just a little bit back. Keep your elbows close to your body. Again, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. One more set. So if you notice, we're doing 3 sets of 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Drop your arms. Roll those shoulders back again. and forward. Okay, we're going to drop all the way down. So now we're into the obliques, the side of the stomach, and down the waist, and down. Just nice little stretch for now, and down. Yep, and 1, and 2, and 3. So we just drop the weight. 5, and 6, and 7, and 8 again, and 1, and 2. My knees are slightly bending, and 4, and 5, and 6. My belly button's back. 7. 1 more again, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Beautiful. Shake it out. Shake it out. Okay. So we did a little bicep. We little bit in the core. We're going to take a little bit more in the core. Just by holding the hands up, we're just going to twist 1 and center, and 2 and center. So twist and center. So our hips always remain forward, and 1 and center, and 2 and center, and 3. And if you notice, my knees are always slightly bent. My belly button is pulled into my spine, so I support my back. Breathing. 6, 7. Now let's take the center out and just slide from side to side. Nice and easy, little twists. Get some activity going in the belly, in the waist. Twist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Beautiful. Shake it out. So at this point, we're going to sit. If you prefer to remain standing, you can remain standing. That's fine. All right? So we're going to go into the shoulder. Into the shoulder by arms up. Now, when I'm sitting, I'm making sure that I'm flat on that seat. My feet are on the floor. My belly button's back and my shoulders are down. I'm going to press up and down, and 2, and down, and 3, and 4. So I'm thinking wrist, pull my elbows, wrist, yeah, yep, and 8, and second set, and 1, pull, and 2, pull, sitting up tall, all my weights out of the seat, and 4, exhale, 5, and 6, beautiful, 7, and 8, one more set, press, 1, and 2, breathing, and 3, and 4, 4 more, we've got it, and 5, and 6, nice, 7, and 8, drop it down, good, roll those shoulders back, nice and easy, go forward. All right, so we went in the shoulder. Now we're going to go to the back of the arm. So standing, we did some bicep. Now we're going to do tricep. So with that said, I take my weights and I double them. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. You can just hold 1. And if you don't have any weights, that's fine too. We want to take our hands behind our head. So our elbows are close by our ears. And we're going to take the weights and we're going to go up and down and squeeze, release. Each time with a breath, and up and down. Again, and down and up and down. Good, keeping the elbows close to your head. Good job, guys. Don't forget about your posture. Keep your belly button into your back. Squeeze and squeeze. And up, and down, and up, and down, and 7, and 8 more. We can do this. Squeeze, tighten that muscle. And 2, tricep, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, beautiful, and 7, and 8. So now we're going to hold it here in little pulses, 2, halfway, and quickly, and 5, and 6, and 7, 8 more. You've got, and 1, and 2, and 3. Keep breathing. 4, sitting up tall, belly button back. 7, one more, you got it. And 8, and 7, and 6, shoulders back. Sa, ba, ba, ba. Nice. Okay, good job. So you can take a little stretch across the body. Open that arm. Yeah, hold it. Okay. Good job. So we're going to add, our arms are here. We're going to bring our knee into play now. 2, 3. So here's the lower abdominals right under that belly button. Every time we lift the knee, we squeeze the belly button back. 2, 3, 4. So right now our arms are just hanging. 6, 7, 8. We're going to go 1, 2. Add those arms. 3. Now this is called a hammer curl. So our weights are coming back and back. Again, pull the belly button in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more set. Pull it back. And 1. Stretch. 2. Stretch. 3 and 4. Squeeze back. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Very nice. Shake it out. Take your weights. You can put your weights down. Grab some water if you need it. We're going to pick up our ball. If you don't have a ball, that's fine. No worries. Okay, so with our ball, we're going to go back into our abdominals, sides of the belly. We're going to do what we call paddling, right? Rowing, however you want to think of it. If you were in a rowboat, you'd have to paddle and push to get yourself moving, yeah? So every time we go back, we engage that core, side of the stomach. Pull back, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8 again, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, breath, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Good. Let's try it with just one hand. So that means you have to transfer the ball from hand to hand. But with that, we can get a little deeper. So you can drop lower, you can go back further and get more into the side of the stomach. 1, and 2, and 3. So you got to really scoop down to connect, to engage the sides of the belly. Again, and 1, and 2. And it's good eye-hand coordination. We got to watch what we're doing. And 3, we're breathing. 4, and 5, 6, and 7. Again, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. A little twist, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Beautiful. Okay, shake those legs out again. Make sure you're seated properly, okay? You're sitting, all 10 toes are on the floor. Heels are down. You're sitting up tall, shoulders are back. Let's push. 2, 3, push that ball away. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's add the up and the out, the up and the out. So if you don't have a ball, you're just using your arms. Up and out and up and out again, and 1 and out. So each one is counted as 1. So this is 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 out, and 7 and 8. Good. Hold it there. All right, so we're going to take the ball. We're going to put it in between our legs, not too high up and not in the knees. Okay, what we want to work is our inner thigh. So by doing that, we have to get it in the right spot. Excuse me. You can either hold on to your chair or you can bring your arms out. Whatever you need to do, you have to engage that ball. You squeeze it. 2. I like to hold the chair because it makes me think that I have to sit up tall. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 5. As if there were 2 hands on the outside of your legs pressing in. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. One more time. Squeeze that leg in. 2, both legs. 3, 4. Feel the inner thigh engaging and waking up. 7, 8. Again. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Now hold that last 8. Now I want you to sit up tall. Squeeze those legs together as hard as you can. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Shoulders down. Don't hold your breath. And let it go. Good job. So right in there, we got that work going. All right. So we're going to do one more with the ball. We're going to put the ball back there. You don't have to really squeeze it tight, but squeeze it tight enough that it doesn't fall out. And we're going to try to do some leg lifts with the ball in between the inner thigh. Again, you can hold the chair as you're doing them, or you can bring your arms out, however you want to do it. I'm not going to count these because I want you to go at your own pace. If you need to go slow, go slow. If you need to go a little quicker, go quicker. But in any way you're doing it, you must engage that belly button. So every time the knees go up, the belly button is going to press back into the spine. And 2, and 3, right. And 4, I'm counting only for rhythm right now. 7, so that's one way. Or you can go 1, and 2. You can stop in between, right? Or you can go quicker, up. 2, 3, 4. You can balance. 5, 6. Squeezing the thighs, pulling the belly button in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I know I said I wasn't going to count, but I think it always helps. Okay, shake it out, shake it out. Stretch one leg out, stretch one leg out, bring it in. So we're not doing anything with the ball anymore, just the legs are working. So out, out, in, out, out, in. Stretch, stretch, bend, bend. Stretch, stretch, bend, bend. Stretch, stretch, bend, bend. Stretch, stretch. Few more like that. Out, out, in, out, out, in. 2 more. Out, engaging those quads and stretching the hamstrings at the same time. Beautiful. Shake it out. We're going to put the ball down. If you need some water, grab your water. We're going to do a few standing exercises. We're going to continue working the inner thigh. So how do we do that is we bend one knee, straighten one knee, and come center. So we bend and we come center. Opposite arm is going to reach to the side of your leg and come up. And reach and up. And reach and up. So we're using inner thigh. Stretch and up. Again and stretch. Nice. And breath. And out and up. And out. Beautiful. And out. Good job, guys. Keep going. And 1. How far down you go is up to you. Everybody's flexibility is different, but I want to keep your head up. Keep that head up. Make sure you're looking at me. Don't drop your head down. You can add the arm. Up and out and up. Again, out. Beautiful. And out. Again, if you need to modify or go slower, whatever you need to do, you do that. If you need to stop and take a break, do that too. Few more. Reach out. And 1. Ha. And 2. 2 more. And 3. Beautiful. And 4. And up. Nice. Shake it out. Okay, let's go behind our chair. Holding onto your chair. So again, if you don't want to hold onto the chair, you can remain standing in front of the chair, behind the chair, with arms out. We're going to work the side of the legs, up and 2, and 3, and 4. So we're stretching long legs, elongating the legs, using what we call the abductor muscles, side of the legs, and 1. You can hold on, 3, and 4, or you can do it with a balance, and 6, and 7, and 8, however you want to do it, 1, and 2, and 3. You're going to feel that on the outside of your leg, 5, and 6, 7, and 8. Good job. I'm going to move my chair up a little, and I'm going to turn to the side for just a minute so you can see what I'm going to do now. Back, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Again, and 1, and 2. My heel is facing the ceiling, and 4, and 5, and 6. Now I'm engaging my glutes. Back of that tushy, top of that leg, push, and 2, and 3, and 4, standing up, belly button back, and 6, and 7, and 8. Good job. I'm going to turn my chair around again. So we're going to put that together. So we're going to do side, and back, and back. Again, and side, and back. And if you want to balance, it would be side, and back, and back. Continue side, and side. Good job, guys. Breathing or holding on, whatever works for you. Either way is fine. Back. So if you're holding on, it's just kind of like your fingers are there just to make sure that you don't lose your balance. Or up, pulling the belly button back when you have to balance, right? You have to really stand up tall. Push your legs, push, and push one more time. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Another way you could do it, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay, so I want you to step back from your chair, reach your arms forward, and get yourself a nice stretch. You can keep your legs straight and reach long. Okay, you want to do a nice flat back and breath out. And just hold it. So here we're stretching our hamstrings, keeping your head parallel to the floor and just holding it. Now we're going to come back up. We're going to walk into the chair a little bit, holding and just arching. Very slightly arch back. You could take one arm up, other arm up, shoulders down, and a long stretch in the spine and just arch back. Or no arch, you can just lift. Whatever works for you. Make sure it's not painful. Anything that might be painful might not be working for your body. If it's a little uncomfortable, that's okay. All right, so we're going to grab our bands. We're going to sit down. And we're going to work our bands a little bit. All right? So we're going to take our bands. We want to work the back part of our arm, our rotator cuffs. So again, we have to find that comfortable place in our seat, right? Tushy is down flat, belly button back, feet flat on the floor. We're going to take our band. If you don't have a band, just extend your arms out. You don't even have to squeeze your hands. You can keep them relaxed. And you're going to think open and forward, open and forward. So it's a press back and a press forward. Okay? If you have a band, you make the tension whatever you want it to be. It could be wide, it could be very narrow. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. Same thing, you're going to go open and forward. Open, so there's never any slack in the band. Open and forward. Push your wrists and now push them forward. So they're going to press away a little bit and forward. Press and forward. Good. So we're engaging our rotator cuffs, back of the shoulders and forward. Sitting up tall, 1 and forward. And 2 and forward. And 3, breath. And 4, again. And 5, and 6, beautiful. And 7, big smiles. Good job, guys. Again, one more set. 1, push forward. And 2, push forward. Don't slack. 3, push forward. And 4, 4 more. You've got 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Good job. Roll those shoulders back. And roll them forward. Good. One more time back. And one more time forward. Okay, so same thing with the roll. If you don't have a band, your arms are rolling. If you do have a band, we're making circles. 2. So using our shoulders, pulling our belly button back. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Sitting up tall. 5, and 6. Big circle. 7, and 8. Sitting up tall. And 1, and 2. Big circle. 3, and 4. Beautiful. And 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. So now we have to reverse it. And 1, and 2. So our circle's coming in toward the chest, down the leg. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Breath. And 5, and 6, and 7, and 8 again. And 1, and 2, and 3. Big circle, reach long. Good, keep that tushy planted on that seat. And 7, and 8. Nice. Should feel that a little bit in here. You're working a little bit the back. And just by sitting up tall, our posture is so important. Pull that belly button into your spine, always supporting your lower back. So we're just gonna take a nice little stretch. Breath, breath, breath. And over. These are lateral stretches. So you want to keep the shoulders down in the back, lift and go over. Good. And up and over. So again, how far down you go is up to you. More out. I like to think of lengthen. Okay, we want to elongate. We want to pull the torso up from the hips, but maintaining the shoulders down. And breath and stretch. Good job. Come up, drop it down. So you can put your band down. All right. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pick one leg up and hold it. So just hold it, but I want you to sit up tall. And I want you to think of bringing your foot up, what we call flex, and point and flex. Yes, we get a nice stretch back in the ankle, in the calf area, and we're really working the foot. Press through to your toes, toes up, toes down, sitting up tall. Good. Breath. A few more. Back and forward. So at this point, we're going to rotate our ankle. Good job. And rotate it the other way. Beautiful. Flex it back, point it out, bring it in and down. Take the other one, same thing, raise your knee. If this is too much, you could just leave it on the floor and do it. Same thing. There's always a way to modify. So I like to just put both hands underneath, kind of hold them, support my knee by pulling my knee back to my chest and flex and point and flex. So my stomach is still working, always working. My belly button is always engaged. It's never just hanging out, okay? 2, flex back and point. Good, and flex. Really move those toes back and stretch them forward. Yep. You want to feel the back of your ankle waking up, and you want to feel a little bit going on in your calf, and forward, and back, and forward, and back, and forward. So here goes that circle, little circle. Yeah, let that ankle get some play in there. Beautiful. Go the other way, and then flex back, point it out, bring that knee in, and bring it down. Good job. Shake it out, So let's take a hamstring stretch. Holding onto your chair, stretch your foot away and just allow your body to come forward. Not too much, you don't want to fall out of the chair. Make sure your hips are on the chair. You're just leaning forward so you're getting a nice stretch in the back of your leg, your hamstring. Good. Breath out. Good job, guys. Come in and do the other side. So flex, same thing. We're leaning our torso forward, holding on, just gently holding on. Just make sure you keep your tush on that chair, flexing your foot, stretching your hamstring. Breath out and bring it in. Good job. So let's stand up. Nice work here. All right, so we're gonna take a deep breath in, exhale out. So again, deep breath in, long fingertips and out. So we bend our knees a little, stretch, and bend our knees and lower. One more time, stretch, and lower. And as we began, let's finish 1 and 2 and 3. Long stretches, 4 and 5. So as we're finishing up here, make sure you know that you did an almost amazing job today. 7, that you are awesome. Yeah, you're the best. 7, 8, stretch forward. 1, 2, I'm here for you. We will continue to stay strong, to stay healthy. Yes, stay positive. 5 and 6 and 7, and this one we did in the beginning as well, and 2 and 3. So we finish as we began. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Breath up, palms in. My heart center, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for doing a great job. Remember how much you're loved. I love you. You are protected. You are safe. Stay positive. Stay strong. Keep working. Enjoy the beautiful weather. And I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Mwah. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. Namaste. Peace, peace, peace to all of you. Shukriya. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi folks, we are Bud and Linda, and it has been our pleasure performing for you for the past few weeks. Today, we honor our brave troops with patriotic songs. sand, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. She's my Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride a pony. I am that Yankee Doodle boy. Hey, here's Linda. Oh, wow. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. Yankee Doodle do or die. A real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. She's my Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride a pony. I am the Yankee Doodle boy. Over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming. The drums from coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer. Send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast nor brag. But should all acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag. Let's all sing together. God bless America. God bless America, the land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We are Bud and Linda. We hope you enjoyed the last few weeks. And remember, to contact us, please dial 311. And we will leave you with this little thought. And remember, always keep a song in your heart. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, our veterans, for bringing us the American dream of freedom. Many of you are with us today, and for those millions that are not, we have memories that shall be with us forever. World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq. God bless you, and God bless America.
I salute each and every one of you. Thank you to all the veterans in all branches of service. Our country is a wonderful place because of the brave men and women who have fought for our freedom. Thank you for your service.
Even with all of the issues facing us today, it's important that we stop and take a moment to remember all the sacrifices from our military and their families, both that they have made and continue to make today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless all of you, and God bless America.
Our members of the armed forces strengthen our nation one community at a time, and we are grateful to have you here in the town of North Hempstead. As our affection continues to grow towards you every day, we say thank you for your service.
Today we say thank you to all the men and women that have so faithfully served in our armed forces. We thank them for all the sacrifices that they've made. We thank their families for all the sacrifices that they've made as well. As John F. Kennedy said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
For selflessly serving our country and protecting the freedoms that we hold so dear, we salute each and every member of our armed forces. I wish I could be there with you in person to say God bless you all. Thank you for serving our country.
I hope everyone is doing well during these very difficult times. I want to express how grateful I am and my family is to all of the veterans who have served our country and have sacrificed so much for us and for our freedoms. We love you and we will never forget you. Thank you for your service to our great country. God bless America.
Hi, I'm North Hempstead Town Clerk Wayne Wink. On this and every day, we should thank those who have defended our American way of life. So please, thank you to our veterans, thank you for your service, and stay well.
Today, we thank all the brave and courageous men and women who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy. We recognize all of those who have done so much to protect the ideals that we cherish as Americans. Today, and every day, we show our appreciation for you, our veterans. Thank you for your service. I want to thank you all for joining us these past 8 weeks for our virtual FunDay Monday programs. Although it may have been a little different, we hope that you still had the same amount of fun. As we conclude our FunDay Monday series for the year, we hope to have you join us next year at the beach, where we can spend some wonderful time together.